and twinkly-eyed, with everything to look forward to. Looking at her picture, I would have guessed she was 9 years old, not 17. In the crime scene photos, she's lying in a desolate cow culvert. Her head is tilted towards me, and her eyes are closed. She has a tiny little nose. Her face contradicts the savagery she endured during the final moments of her life. She looks serene, like a sleeping doll. She's dressed in the same blue-dotted Swiss party dress with lace trim that she was wearing when she kissed her parents goodnight and headed out to a Valentine's Day dance at her high school. Only the dress has been torn off and placed carefully over her bare chest, leaving her naked lower body exposed. 2 blue barrettes are still intact, but her pretty strawberry blonde hair is muddy and disheveled. Thin swipes of blue on her eyelids, which, I was told, she worked so hard to match to her dress, are smudged. Semen stains, dark purple bruises around her neck, and contusions on her arms and legs tell the story of a horrific death. I study her injuries and envision what happened. Young Carla was violently beaten, raped, and strangled, and her body dragged through a barbed wire fence and ditched like garbage in the middle of nowhere, where it lay for nearly 4 days. Carla's murder is no closer to being solved today than it was when it happened in 1974, but 45 years later, the collateral damage continues to fester. Her younger brother, Jim Walker, was 12 when Carla was killed. Now he's a little older than me. When I decided to look into the cold case recently, I met with Jim in a suburb of Fort Worth. He told me that after he got his driver's license, he used to steal away to the crime scene and spend nights in the culvert, waiting for Carla's killer to show. There was something about Jim that broke my heart, and I found myself choking back tears talking to him. All this time later, the pain on his face is as fresh as if he'd lost his sister yesterday. It was even worse for his parents, he said. They suffered in silence until their deaths. His mother kept a portrait of Carla and touched it every morning when she woke up. It was her way of saying good morning to her daughter. That's the thing about these tragedies. There are so many victims, so many shattered lives, so many families torn apart. Healing is subjective, but the scars never fade, and the pain is always a breath away. It's a terrible way to spend your life. I promised Carla's family that I'd do everything in my power to solve her murder. The only peace they'll get will come with knowing who killed her and why. And when I went to the culvert, I promised Carla, too, that I'd work tirelessly to catch her killer. I'm committed to Carla. People think I'm strictly analytical, and that's how I present myself. But there is something very spiritual for me when I'm at a crime scene. I don't just put myself in the minds of the offender and the victim, which is critical to my crime-solving process. I make peace with the victim, as it was in Carla's case. The culvert where Carla was dumped is a lonely place, a tunnel under a road in rural Texas about 10 miles from her high school and the Walker family home. Standing in the exact spot where her body had lain, it was as if I was witnessing the whole terrible attack. I see the offender looming over Carla, his eyes wild with excitement as he pulls off her underwear and yanks her bra up over her breasts, ripping her party dress in a frenzy. I see her, eyes dilated, heart pounding, breath fast and shallow. Adrenaline courses through her body, and she is in full-on fear mode, fight, flight, or freeze. But she's too small and not nearly powerful enough to compete with her attacker. He grimaces as he places his hands around her neck. He starts to squeeze, and she grabs at his hands and arms, trying to loosen his hold. She gouges her own skin with her fingernails as she claws futilely at his death grip. Carla has to know this is the end of her life. There's nothing she can do to save herself. Her body is shutting down. The outer jugular veins begin to collapse, but her heart continues to push blood to her brain through the carotids, causing an intense buildup of pressure in her.